Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone, and we are going to talk about a whole bunch of important things that are happening across the city this week. Welcome, Scott.
How are you, Samantha?
I'm well, thank you. I
Great.
have my good day because tomorrow is my chemo day. So today I always feel great the day before.
Yeah, that's good. Keep it up.
Yeah, thank you. It's all good. I'm excited because I know that the mayoral debate has been scheduled for the 28th. So I just want to let the folks know who are joining us. It will be live, so unfortunately I won't be in attendance because I can't be in an auditorium with a lot of people right now, unfortunately. Yep. However, I will be helping collect questions and things if people have an interest in topics for us to cover. And so I want folks to know who are watching. They should feel free to send me a note or anything, and we'll send out a form and some other things as well so that the moderator who'll be joining us will be able to make sure we're asking all the things that are important to us as a community. So thank you, Scott, for agreeing to participate along with the other candidates.
Good, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I
think it's great. I wanted to talk about the Pocket Park because I had nothing to do with it. The city has announced that we'll be having sort of a formal, ribbon cutting opening ceremony coming up later this month, I think on the 24th.
Yes. So that'd be good. We're trying to add some different places for activities that have been successful, kind of imitating the Pocket Park, which has been a great success, particularly, I know it's helped a lot with
the Brickyard there.
The Brickyard and the pizza. They have great concerts every Wednesday, and the crowd it's just good for the downtown when you have that vibe, and they've really done a great job with it, and they brought it along. So this is much smaller, but it's still the intent is to have different, try to have different performers and try to get some of the restaurants down there to embrace that, as an activity. And also it's just a nice place, and it's kind of beautified an area that had gotten a little bit overgrown. And, I keep telling you that the DPW is very talented in the work that they basically did everything by themselves. They did a fantastic job. And, Lenny, who's the deputy superintendent, and Jay Duran and the guys, they really stepped up and did a great job. And Rich Haggerty, of course, provided some much needed funding from the state in the form of a grant. So we're grateful to him and the delegation which stands behind him. So it's going to be a nice addition to the downtown, right across from the parking lot. So, we think there'll be some good activity down there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. I know there's some better lighting. The area had maybe not been the best for folks, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to get some better usage out of it. It looks fantastic. I drove by it the other day, and you're right, the crew did an amazing job. I can't wait to see performers and things there. That's going to be awesome. So, yeah. And then it'll just be also some seating and areas for families and couples and people to be able to be there and hang out and enjoy the downtown.
Yeah, and we're looking, this. As it goes, it's one of those things that can grow and change somewhat. There's been calls for more green space, which we're hearing, and we'll try to add it through buckets and planters and whatnot to enhance the area. But it's an exciting time, and it's just one small step. That's what you do, small steps to try to improve things, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. One other thing that's also sort of a big shout out. I assume it's DPW, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a pretty bad wasp problem actually at Horn Pond. And some of the friends of Horn Pond and others went out and marked the spot and worked with the city to make sure that those wasp nests were taken care of. These were not like bees that pollinate. These are just like nasty buggers that do nothing but sting you. And I was just really impressed with what I saw and how the community came together to solve that quickly.
It's good. Yeah, you notice some of the areas that have been kind of taped off, and the DPW took it on, and it's kind of one of those roles that it's not a traditional role for the DPW, but again, the leadership down there has been great, and they addressed it. And we also have the new group down at Horn Pond that Jim Joyce, you've had them on your show. They're really
the Friends of Horn Pond. They've been great.
They've been a great asset for the city and just really for the preservation down there. So a good group of people, and I'm sure that group is going to continue to grow and do great things down there.
Yeah, so I don't know who drew the short straw and had to get up there and actually go after those nests, because I know we don't have a full-time pest exterminator. But I'm grateful to them because I know that was that's a very well utilized part of the pond, and they were great and immediate and really helped out. So it was awesome.
Thanks for recognizing that. Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of pests, summertime is, we have, like all cities, there's rats and mice and things that get into our trash, and we see it all the time. I think sometimes we see it more in the summertime because we're outside more and we're, out in the yards and it's warmer rather. And I know we've talked about this in the past, about, what we can and can't do as a city to control it. But I think one of the things that we know helps mitigate the problem with rats is rat-proof trash cans, right? Things that rats can't get into, and those buggers can get into more than we think they can. I think it's actually quite amazing. I moved to metal, which seems to have stopped it. At least I haven't seen anything, and I'm not going to go looking for problems that I don't need to find right now. But the reason I brought it up is one of the things that people have asked about or suggested is there a way that we can get some sort of discounting program by buying in bulk? Obviously, we can't give out trash cans in the budget to every resident, but perhaps we can get some kind of discount programs going, maybe with one local Lowe's or some other.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Samantha. We can look into that. And I mean, you do hit the nail on the head. It's the rats have been around, and they've been around forever. They've been around before we were. And the one thing that we can never totally eliminate it, but again, taking individual steps as homeowners or tenants or landlords is to try to secure your trash and keep it secure. That's some of the things we need to do. And there are a bunch of tips on the Board of Health's website about things you can do, but the best thing is to be proactive and go from there. And we'll look into that, as far as reaching out to Home Depot and see if they'd be interested in doing that. And I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I know we also have an ACE in Woburn as well. So it's just, might be a way to help some of our local businesses, but also get some kind of discount program for people.
Did I say Home Depot? I meant Lowe's.
I know you meant Lowe's.
Yeah,
it's okay. I'm sure it'll be forgiven. The other thing that I will just want to mention and then open up to anything that you'd like to add is we did recently, I saw have 3 new police officers join the Woburn police force that recently graduated and are now in additional training. And I just want to sort of give a shout out for that. That's always great to see new members of our community who are here to help serve as we grow and as a community and such. It's great to see us and the police force continue to bring talented folks in.
Yeah, that's those 3 new officers. Those mayoral appointments. I appointed them, and they've really shined at the academy. And there were 3 of them, and again, leadership awards. And one of them was a leader of a designated leader of the academy. Another one was a class speaker, and another one was a leader's group. So they really an impressive group of candidates that are now on the street, and they'll be under the tutelage of a police officer, and they'll learn their trade over the next couple months, and then they'll be on their own. But they're 3 very impressive young men who are going to add greatly to the police force. So we're proud of them.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing them on their patrols and as they get to know the community. Anything else that you'd like to add before we bring on our next guest?
No, I'm thinking ahead. If there's any events this weekend, and I don't think there's any this week, but the summer's coming quickly to, I'm not going to say it, but we've got a good 3 weeks to enjoy, and weather's been great, and I'd just get out and enjoy, and we'll have a long September, which will be good too. And
the fall is a lovely time to be outside.
Right.
I think they'll be nice, but the summer seems to have flown by. So it always, as long as it is, it also always seems to sneak up and end too soon.
But like you said, fall's a great time. We love our seasons, and fall means the Patriots and some other things. So we're excited about, a strong finish to the summer and a great fall. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Okay. Good to see you guys. Thanks. Thank you. Next up, Julie Cotton.
Hello. Hi, Samantha.
Welcome. I'm really excited because Julie, I have been trying to align schedules with Julie for a long time to come talk about a really important resource in our community, CPAC. And I know many of our audience is familiar with CPAC, but a lot of folks are not. So I thought maybe we could just start by you sharing a little bit about what CPAC's mission is.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share this. So a CPAC stands for Special Education Parent Advisory Council. Every municipality, every city and town in Massachusetts has one. And in fact, many other states have them as well. It's a mandated group. The state requires that there be a CPAC in each city and town so that we are able to advise the school district on things that we're hearing from families, concerns, or things that are going really well with special education. And so it's sort of a twofold role. We advise the district in our communications about things that are going on with families and students, and we also are expected to participate to some degree in some of the planning that's happening with programming, and just to be in frequent contact with the district. We are not actually a part of the school district. We are a separate group. Sometimes people are not sure if we are like employed by the school district, and we're not. We are all volunteers. At the moment, all three of us. It is myself, Julie Cotton, I'm president. Jennifer Young is our secretary, and Adam Chapman is our treasurer. And I want to give a shout out to Elissa Milton, our former president. She'll be up next in the show, and she has been amazing. She was there for 6 years helping CPAC, and only recently finally took a break. So she was hugely influential. So we're very grateful to her. So this is new for me, but yeah. So we're looking to stay in contact with families, hear how things are going. If people have questions about special education, questions about their rights in special ed, about what to expect with an upcoming IEP meeting, they can reach out to us for things like that as well.
Oh, thank you so much. It really can be overwhelming to navigate some of those systems. As much as the school system wants to be transparent and wants to do all those things, it's new and hard and difficult. And so having an organization like CPAC there to both share the community's concerns and excitement about things that are happening, but also to be a resource to help people find what they should be doing and where to go and what to expect is wonderful. Now we could talk forever about that, but we won't today. I wanted to talk a little bit today specifically because the school committee, there are several members of the school committee who are up for election. And I know CPAC in the past and is going to be planning a forum to give people the opportunity to hear from those school committee candidates. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening with the forum and when we might expect that to be?
Absolutely. And I'm super excited to talk about it. Though, caveat, it's not planned yet. We're in the middle of making all the plans for it. And so we don't have a date yet. It's going to be mid-October. Hopefully within the week, we'll be pinning that down. But we're still in the process. So in terms of like exact date, location, all of that, stay tuned. We're encouraging people to watch our Facebook page, which is Woburn CPAC, or to go to our website, which is woburncpac.org. And make sure that you keep an eye on those spaces, because that's where you'll see that information. We'll be sharing it quite a bit as well, especially on social media. And you can also email us wps.cpac@gmail.com. And we have a newsletter as well. There's a lot of ways to be in touch with what we're doing. But yes, we did the forum a couple years ago. I think it was 2019. It was pre-COVID. It feels like several lifetimes ago. But it was great. We hosted it at the high school. We had all of the current and incumbent members of school committee that were running again, and we had the new members or the new candidates running for school committee as well. We had everybody up on stage. We had some questions people had submitted to us, and we had a lot. So we had to pick some questions to cover a wide number of topics. And we were able to give everybody an opportunity to speak on those topics, show what their passions are, what their motivations and priorities and everything are in education, their desire to be on school committee and to help influence policy and change and all of that. And it was really nice to have those sort of back and forths with all of the candidates and get to know them a little bit better.
I'm really so grateful, and I know we in the community are grateful that you're doing that. As you know, the folks who watch the show, as we do try to interview people, but it's really lovely to see a whole spectrum of people together on a stage and learning and talking about topics and getting really deep and sharing their ideas alongside their the people they're in some cases competing with, and for a role. And these forums, I think, are an important part of our local government and how we learn about the people that we will ultimately be voting for. So thank you for doing that. We'll keep an eye out for the date, and when that's finalized, of course, we'll share that with everybody. But definitely follow all the places that Julie talked about, because that's a great place to get information, not just about this forum, but other important things that CPAC is doing. Before I let you go, Julie, I just want to ask, are there other things that, other ways that families should get involved, or anything else that you have coming up in the very short term that you want to make sure our community is aware of?
Absolutely. We host monthly meetings, and at least monthly. Sometimes there will be maybe 2 events within a month. And we encourage people to come out to meetings if you can. If you aren't able to come out to a meeting, reach out to us anyways, because we want to be in contact. We do our best work when we know what's going on in the community and how people are feeling. And it is our job is to see if there's anything that needs more of a systemic change, if there's types of issues coming up for a lot of families. And we don't know that unless we talk to people. And we really try to maintain a very collaborative relationship with the district to try to have a better chance at making changes if necessary, and also let them know what's going well so they can keep doing those things. But we ask people to come out to our meetings, reach out to us through email, again, wps.cpac@gmail.com, which is also where you can submit any questions you might have that you want to share for the forum. We'll be collecting those on our email. Just let us know what's important to you, what's going well, what's not going well, what questions do you have about some of your options, or if somebody makes a suggestion to you and you're saying, I'm not sure if I want to do that for my child. Does anyone else know? How does that work for your family? We can connect you to other parents as well. Because I feel like that parent to parent sharing network, or I should say caregiver to caregiver, it won't always be parents, is really where you can learn a lot and make some really valuable connections. We want to help people meet each other.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Julie, because I think that I know as a parent, particularly, sometimes you don't, these are sensitive things about your children, maybe not when they're really little, but when they get older, your children don't always want you airing their business in a public place. So one of the things that I like about the work that CPAC does is that connecting community together in a quieter, private opportunity where you'll be able to talk with each other and share things in a way that still protects the privacy of, at least your older kids who have stronger opinions about what gets shared and what doesn't.
Absolutely. I've noticed as my kids get older, those feelings that they have changed as well. We do have coming up September 27th at 6:45 at the library, I believe down in the program room, but I will confirm that. We're having a back to school meet and greet for people to come out, meet us, introduce themselves, talk about how the beginning of the school year has gone, anything they want to bring up while they're there in front of us, or any questions they have. That is something we're really looking forward to try to get to know more people. And we also have our next information session that we set up. We do something with the Federation for Children with Special Needs every year. This year, we'll be doing a presentation called Understanding the IEP, and a presenter from the Federation will come in and just give a whole presentation about breaking down how does an IEP work, what does each section mean, and that will be on November 14th. And that, again, will also be shared on our website and our Facebook page. So, and then, of course, in between those two, we'll have the forum and you'll be seeing that shared. So we do have a lot coming up, and we're really looking forward to the start of the school year.
Oh, that's awesome. And, the start of the school year could be super exciting for a lot of students and families, and super anxiety driving for a lot of students and families too, right? There's all of those things. So as a mom, as president of CPAC, as just, a community member, any thoughts or advice you want to share on getting ready for back to school that have helped you survive that transition? Because that transition can be very hard for a lot of people.
Boy, do I wish I had all the answers to that. I can say what I have found helpful myself is definitely give it time. That adjustment from a summer schedule to a fall schedule can be a really big shift, even for kids who might have ongoing programming through the summer, as some kids do. I think give it a little time. have a little grace with yourself and with your kids as they adjust and as you adjust. And just maybe that's a good time to start forging some connection with their teachers. If you have new teachers this year, if you have a new principal or a new school building, reach out and email, just introduce yourself and just try to get some streams of communication going. That way you can kind of hear, you might see that sort of emotional dump at the end of the day when they come home from school sometimes, but you want to know how the school day is going. So it's always good to sort of start that connection.
Awesome advice. I know my kids were really great the first couple of days of school. Again, they were still excited, so they'd get up and they'd get dressed and breakfast. And then, sort of week 2, we'd hit reality where I'm, going in and saying it's time to get up. So I wish all the families of all the students and caregivers and everyone a wonderful transition. It can be a really fun and exciting time, and it can be a time where we've got to give ourselves a little bit of transition and grace. So thank you so much for joining us, Julie. Next up, Elissa.
Hello, Samantha.
Well, welcome, Elissa. We didn't know when we booked this that you'd be getting all kinds of praise from Julie, but worthy praise, I'm sure. Today, you're actually here to talk about something totally different. You're here to talk about a really important fundraiser for Tanner Closet. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Yes, so still part of the schools, but definitely a different thing. So I'm part of a group called Woburn Welcomes, which is a local group in the city that started 6 years ago. And we have been having for the past few years a donation drive for the Tanner Closet at the high school. Started out several years ago as a clothing and toiletry drive, but we're lucky enough that they do not need that this year. So we've sort of shifted what we're asking for. And so the event is on Thursday, August 31st, and we're asking people to, bring what they can to help out with the kids in the community. I don't know if people are familiar with the Tanner Closet, but it's a great resource for high school students. If they need anything, they can go to the closet at the high school and get things that they can use at home.
It's really such an incredible resource and a well-utilized resource, I should also say. Lots of people depend on it in many different ways. Some of the items I know that they've asked for in the past are like gift cards. So, these are largely high school students, but not only, sometimes they're supporting younger siblings or other things as well. But gift cards are really helpful. School supplies at the beginning of the school year, right, are things that they need. Are there any specific stores or anything where gift cards are particularly helpful?
Absolutely. So Megan Patrici, who is at the high school and sort of keeps track of what they have in the closet, she has asked for gift cards for Market Basket, Stop and Shop, Family Dollar, and Target. So those are all places that she's identified that the students are able to really get what they need. Most of them are within walking distance, so it makes it very easy for them. And then for school supplies, looking for backpacks, folders, pens, pretty much anything a high school student or a younger student would need, hole punches, markers, just to sort of, augment what kids may or may not have at home.
Yeah, I think that's great. Things like scientific calculators even, and anything that they might need for a project or for their classes, awesome. So thank you for doing that. Now, where will those donations be dropped off?
The donations can be dropped off at the Woburn United Methodist Church on Main Street here in Woburn. There are a couple ways you can do it. You can walk into the building and give it to us, but we're also doing some drive-bys. So if you just want to give us the gift card or a bag of mac and cheese or something that you've gotten at the grocery store, you can do that as well. There'll be people standing out front right on the sidewalk who can take it from you as you go by. And it's from 4:30 to 7:30, as I said, on August 31st. And another thing, we're going to be having a raffle for a $50 gift card for everybody who donates, just sort of as a little incentive. But given the generosity of everybody in past years, we don't think that is actually necessary, but we're doing it anyway. In past years, the high school has just been overwhelmed with the amount of supplies and the generosity of the people here in Woburn.
Yeah, it's just honestly, an easy thing for us to do, right? Even if it's just, hey, you're picking up school supplies for kids and you grab a couple extra things of something to drop off. I will just tell you, I've spoken to a couple of students who have used some of the gift cards in the past, just happened to have chit-chatted with them, and they are unbelievably grateful for that, and it is so needed. And so whatever folks can do to get the closet started for the year and be well supplied, because, you know, these are families and such who maybe have been kind of making it through the summer, and now some of the stability around meals and things comes when they get back to school. So this is a really easy, wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much to Woburn Welcomes, Elissa, to you and everyone for hosting this.
Absolutely. And also I just want to say that if you can't remember based on this, what, you know, we're asking for, we have flyers around town. I know I just saw one at the library on Saturday at their celebration, but you can also check out the Facebook page under Woburn Welcomes, and we've got the flyer there so you can see. And I also want to shout out to my co-chairs, Amy Cardoso and Emily Lipset, and just say that Amy has done a lot of the planning that goes into this. And she is a teacher at the high school, so she really knows the students.
It's so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, as always, please continue to take good care of each other.